From a truck driver in Cambodia who thought he could beat the train, and a derailment in southern Brazil that sent more than a dozen cars over a hill, to a train in Mumbai that overran the tracks while pulling into the station, and much more. Here are the craziest train moments caught on CCTV camera. Train derailments can happen at any time in any place. Take the tiny Brazilian community of Marilândia do Sul, for example. This small town in southern Brazil is home to about 8,800 people. Thankfully, none of them were near the tracks when this train came loose. Details on this accident are scarce. From the video, we can tell that there's a short hill on the other side of the tracks. Cars kept pulling each other down as they fell into the gutter. The real question is, what was inside of those tankers, and did anything spill into the environment? Hopefully, it was nothing, but this was just a minor accident in the middle of southern Brazil. The Churchgate station is one of the busiest railway hubs in Mumbai, India. Trains arrive and depart every minute like clockwork. Millions of people rely on them to get to and from work. So, when something goes wrong, it throws the whole city out of whack. On June 28th of 2015, a train flew into the station at nearly 20 miles per hour. Someone forgot to hit the brakes, and the train overshot its course. It crashed onto the platform, coming within several feet of a coffee stand. CCTV footage captured the whole thing. Everyone minds their business moments before the train derails. They jump and flee the area as frightened passengers jump off. Thankfully, only a handful of people suffered very minor injuries. According to officials, the accident could have been much worse. Because it happened on a Sunday morning, the station wasn't that busy. 24 hours later, and that platform would have been packed with people. They said that failure to apply the brakes was the likely cause, but they didn't want to jump to conclusions. The accident forced them to divert trains to other platforms. 40 other trains were cancelled until they could clear the track and repair the damage. Zibo City, situated in China's Shandong province, operates as a prefecture-level metropolis. Home to approximately 3.1 million people within its urban boundaries, and an additional million residing in the outskirts. On December 3rd of 2022, a black SUV and a dump truck found themselves stopped ahead of a railroad crossing somewhere on the outskirts of the city. A train was barreling towards them, and what happened next had the whole internet scratching their heads. In the video, it is clear that a train is coming. The arms are down and traffic is stopped. Precisely at this point, the dump truck decides to start nudging the car ahead of him forward, pushing the SUV right onto the tracks. A rail worker, seemingly unaware of the unfolding drama, lifts the crossing arms, but they get stuck halfway. Then the truck driver reverses, taking the crossing arm with him. Things take an even weirder turn when the people in the SUV get out of the car, seemingly to inspect the damage that was done. Why not keep driving when a train is heading right for you? Thankfully, after a quick pause, the driver hits the gas and narrowly avoids a collision, missing the train by what looks like inches. The truck driver claims their brakes failed. The internet quickly accused him of foul play. After all, his brakes worked fine after he backed up. Littlehampton is a seaside resort town in West Sussex, England. They're nestled on the English Channel and about 52 miles southwest of London. Like much of England, the people rely on an intricate railway network to get in and out of the major cities. On February 21st of 2023, two reckless drivers on a moped decided to test their fate. A speeding train was on its way. The flashing lights and crossing arms said so. But these daredevils decided to ignore the signs and narrowly avoided a horrendous accident. The lights begin flashing. The crossing arms slowly descend. Both are universal signs that a train is fast approaching. The pedestrian and their dog have no idea what they're about to witness. The moped comes around the bend with no intention of stopping. They change lanes and zip through the intersection with only a fraction of a second to spare. The train roars through at 70 miles per hour. Our pedestrian probably thinks they just saw a tragic accident. These reckless kids don't realize how badly they scared the train driver. He had to make an emergency stop and compose himself after the near miss. He'll live the rest of his life wondering what could have happened if he hit them. Inspector Emma Bolton of the British Transport Police called it the most reckless behavior on a level crossing she has seen in her entire career. Everyone knows the dangers of texting and driving. It's distracting, it's dangerous, and it's illegal in 48 states. Montana and Missouri are the only outliers. With all the horrible stories, it's amazing that some people still think it's okay. Some are even willing to push the limits. In October of 2019, a Russian train operator thought it was a good idea to pull out her phone and start scrolling. She would have seen the other train coming if she had kept her eyes on the tracks. Instead, she went viral as the world's most reckless engineer. Honestly, how irresponsible can you be? Not only is this woman on her phone while driving a train, but she's also on camera. When she finally looks up, it is way too late. She starts frantically pressing buttons, but nothing is stopping that train. She's lucky the train she hit wasn't moving. If it was, this accident could have been much worse. Maybe she thought the tracks were empty and was expecting to coast right through. But even if that was the case, she still shouldn't take her eyes off the rails. Something could be stuck on the tracks, or another driver could have gone the wrong way. There is no good reason to be on your phone while driving. You can check it later when you're not on the road, or the train tracks. The Stirling Railway Station is one of several stops on the Trans-Perth line. It's how people north of the city get into the heart of Perth, the capital of Western Australia. It services about 4,700 passengers every day, but on August 6th of 2014, one of them almost didn't make it. A man was stepping onto the train when his leg slipped between the car and the platform. Imagine the horror he must have felt, thinking the train was about to take off while he was stuck. Luckily, his fellow commuters came together and saved his life. That's our guy in the hat and black shirt. Thankfully, he wasn't alone when his leg slipped through. A worker signals to the driver not to move, and they quickly deboard the train. Everyone gets the idea to push the train and widen the gap. It takes a few good heaves and effort from everyone on the platform. With enough force, they move it just enough for him to slip his leg out. According to local reports, the man was unharmed and the train left only 15 minutes behind schedule. He was thankful for his fellow commuters, but couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed. There was a sign that read, "Mind the gap," right where he fell. The Cambodian city of Battambang is the third largest city in the country. Famed for its French colonial architecture, it's a place where time seems to move a little slower, where countryside charm meets urban convenience. This next story, however, is a lesson to all of us about the dangers of impatience. Footage from various angles shows a truck fast approaching a train crossing somewhere in the Cambodian countryside. In the video, the truck is clearly picking up speed, hoping to beat the train. Despite a rail worker frantically waving a warning flag, it seems the driver was determined to make it across. He almost makes it when the train clips the rear bumper, sending both vehicles crashing. Another angle gives us further perspective. Fortunately, the vehicles and bystanders nearby managed to avoid getting hit by the train and the truck. The aftermath was a rather chaotic scene. Both the truck and the train car ended up flipped. Rescuers and officials flocked to the scene, likely wondering where to even begin with such a disaster. As the camera pans, we see fluid spilling from the train car. Every shot reiterates one fact: the truck driver was in a rush trying to beat that train. Incredibly, and quite luckily, he emerged with only minor injuries. He might have dodged serious physical harm, but he is certainly facing legal consequences now. If you enjoyed this video and want to see another just like it, then be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.